You look at your bank account and feel a tightness in your chest. It's not just a lack of money. It's a silent certainty that no matter how hard you work, it will never be enough. This thought isn't just pessimism. It's a real neurological programming that is sabotaging every financial decision you make. What if I told you that this mental prison has a scientific name, a documented biblical origin, and most importantly, a proven reversal process? In the next few minutes, you'll understand why your mind was trained to repel money, how it happened without you realizing it, and what great financial transformations have in common with something neuroscience calls synaptic renewal, and the Bible has described for millennia with a specific Greek word. First, the physical symptom. Have you noticed that when you think about earning more money, your body reacts before your mind? A Unicamp study on financial behavior in Brazil identified that 83% of Brazilians over 35 experience symptoms of physiological anxiety when discussing personal finances. It's not just emotional discomfort, it's rapid heartbeat, muscle tension, sweaty palms. This happens because your nervous system has associated money with threat, not opportunity. This response is Pavlovian. Every time you saw your parents arguing about bills, every time you heard that money doesn't grow on trees, every time you were taught that rich people are greedy, your brain recorded money equals danger. And now, when a real opportunity for prosperity appears, your body triggers the alarm system as if you were about to be attacked. The University of São Paulo published research showing that Brazilian workers over 40 carry an average of 17 limiting beliefs about money, most of them formed before the age of 12. 17 invisible barriers between you and the provision God planned. And the most disturbing part? You defend these beliefs as if they were absolute truths.
Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life, a guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming, with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10,000 readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who were tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.
You say things like, "I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. No one in my family prospered. Those who earn a lot exploited someone." These phrases are not neutral observations, they are prophetic declarations that your brain turns into reality. Neuroscience calls this confirmation bias. You filter reality to validate your beliefs. If you believe you'll never have money, your brain literally doesn't see financial opportunities right in front of you. Here's the connection that churches don't teach and business schools ignore. In biblical Greek, there's a word for the profound transformation of the mind: metanoia. Meta means beyond, changing direction. Nous means mind, intellect, the processing center of your identity. Metanoia is not positive thinking. It's a complete reorientation of the neural structure that processes reality. It's literally what neuroscientists at the Max Planck Institute describe as directed neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create new synaptic patterns based on new narratives about yourself. When Paul of Tarsus writes in Romans chapter 12 verse 2, "Transform yourselves by the renewal of your mind," he's not giving motivational advice. He's prescribing a neurological protocol. The Greek word used there for transform yourselves is metamorphosthe, from the same root as metamorphosis. It's the language of structural, not superficial, transformation. And here's the detail that changes everything. This transformation happens specifically in the mind, in the nous, in the belief system that determines what you consider possible. Now think with me. If your mind processes money as a threat, if your core beliefs say you don't deserve prosperity, If your nervous system triggers alarms every time you think of abundance, how exactly do you expect to attract provision? You're fighting against yourself. And this internal struggle is not your fault, it was installed. Let me tell you about Joseph of Egypt. This man had one of the most dramatic financial journeys in the Bible. Sold into slavery at 17, falsely accused and imprisoned, forgotten in jail. If anyone had a reason to develop a scarcity mindset, it was him. But there's a detail in the narrative that most people ignore. In Genesis chapter 39, when Joseph is in Potiphar's house, the text says that the Lord was with Joseph and he was prosperous. Prosperous. As a slave. Joseph's prosperity didn't depend on freedom, social status, or initial capital. It depended on something internal, something that not even slavery could steal. His identity was anchored in who God said he was, not in external circumstances. Joseph had dreams at 17 showing he would rule. These dreams could have turned into psychological torment when he was thrown into the cistern by his brothers. They could have turned into bitterness when he was unjustly accused. But Joseph did something neurologically extraordinary. He maintained his internal narrative independent of external reality. This is not naive optimism. It's what Stanford calls a growth mindset. Carol Dweck, a psychologist who researched this for 30 years, found that people with this mindset see challenges as opportunities for development, not as confirmation of inability. When Joseph finally interprets Pharaoh's dream and is promoted to governor of Egypt, he didn't have a sudden change of mindset. He had already been operating in mental abundance for years. The external promotion merely aligned with the internal reality he cultivated during his imprisonment. And here's the insight that can change your financial life. Joseph didn't wait to have money to think like a prosperous person. He thought like a prosperous person when he had nothing, and that created the magnetic field that attracted provision. Before you think this is baseless metaphysics, let me show you the science. The HeartMath Institute has conducted studies measuring heart coherence, which is basically the alignment between your heart and your brain. They found that when you maintain feelings of gratitude, generosity, and purpose, your heart's electromagnetic field expands and literally changes your blood chemistry. You produce more DHEA, the hormone of vitality, and less cortisol, the stress hormone. Your body enters a building mode, not a survival mode, and in this state you make different decisions. You see opportunities that were previously invisible. You have the courage for calculated risks that previously seemed insane. Now here's where theology powerfully meets neuroscience. The Hebrew word for God's faithful kindness is chesed. It's not just emotional kindness, it's covenant loyalty, it's structural provision. When David writes in Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," he is declaring chesed. But notice he doesn't say "I might not want" or "I hope I won't want." He says "I shall not want" as a present affirmation, even while shepherding sheep in the desert before he was king. David is practicing what neuroscientists call mental rehearsal. He is programming his mind to operate in sufficiency before physical provision appears. If you're enjoying this content and want to continue discovering how to align your mind with divine provision, subscribe to the channel now. Many people watch, benefit, but forget to subscribe. Click below, because the next videos will delve deeper into these principles in ways that can literally change your financial trajectory. Now let's get to the part that's uncomfortable. Jesus spoke about money more than heaven and hell combined. Why? Because he knew money is not neutral, it's a spiritual force. The word he used in Aramaic was mammon. It's not simply physical money, it's the personification of money as an idol that demands worship. When Jesus said, "You cannot serve God and mammon," he wasn't talking about quantity, he was talking about identity. Who defines who you are? Your bank account or your calling? And here's the paradox that destroys most people. The more you chase money as an identity, the more it escapes you. The more you relax in the identity God gave you, the more provision flows naturally. This is not passivity, it's alignment. A study from Harvard Business School followed two groups of professionals for 10 years. The first group chose careers based on salary. The second chose based on purpose and passion. After a decade, the purpose group had, on average, 40% higher income and 3 times higher emotional satisfaction. Why? Because when you operate in your original design, you create real value. And real value always attracts provision. When you operate outside your calling, you're trading time for money, and that's a prison disguised as a job. The widow of Zarephath is another stark example of mindset transformation. 1 Kings chapter 17. She's preparing the last meal for herself and her son before starving to death. Elijah appears and asks for exactly that last portion. An absurd request, right? But notice her response. She doesn't debate theology, she acts. And the text says that the jar of flour did not run out, nor did the jug of oil run dry. Chesed in action. But the key wasn't the external miracle. It was her internal decision to trust in future provision more than present scarcity. Neurologically, she broke the cycle of fear. Spiritually, she activated faith, and provision responded. Have you noticed that people with a scarcity mindset hold on to money tightly, but it always slips away? And people with a stewardship mindset who understand that resources flow through them, not to them, always prosper. It's not luck, it's spiritual physics. When you hold on to something in fear of losing it, you create resistance. When you manage something knowing it belongs to a greater purpose, you create flow. The Greek word for stewardship in the New Testament is oikonomia. It's where economy comes from. It literally means law of the house. Paul uses this word to describe the stewardship of the mysteries of God, but the principle applies to everything, including money. You are not the owner of the resources that pass through your life. You are a steward, and good stewards understand a simple truth. Resources multiply when invested in purpose, not when hoarded out of fear. The Getulio Vargas Foundation conducted a study on financial education in Brazil and discovered something disturbing. 68% of Brazilians over 40 have never received formal financial education. Their beliefs about money come from family observation, not principles. And most Brazilian families have operated in survival for generations. This means you've inherited scarcity strategies, not abundance strategies. You learn to survive, not to prosper. And without intentional relearning, you will replicate the same patterns that have kept your family limited. Here's the good news. Metanoia is possible. Renewal of the mind is not theory, it's practice. And it starts with something very simple, replacing declarations of scarcity with declarations of truth. When you think, "I'll never get out of this," you stop and declare, "God is my provider, and He knows my needs before I ask." When you think, "I don't have the capacity to earn more," you correct, "I was created in the image of a creative God, and creativity generates value, and value generates provision." This is not shallow self-help. It's truth-based neural reprogramming. Every time you replace a lie with truth, you are creating new synaptic pathways. The brain doesn't distinguish between real experience and intensely imagined experience. When you declare truth with conviction, your brain begins to look for evidence of that truth in reality, and it finds it. But there's a component that cannot be missing: aligned action. Solomon, the richest man who ever lived, wrote in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4, "Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth." Solomon wasn't talking about mindless effort. He was talking about smart execution. He studied ants, observed patterns in nature, applied practical wisdom. Wealth didn't fall from the sky for him. He combined divine revelation with strategic work. The Hebrew word for peace, shalom, doesn't mean absence of conflict. It means wholeness, completeness, everything working as it should. Financial shalom is not having millions in your account. It's having alignment between your calling, your work, and your provision. It's waking up knowing that you're doing what you were created to do, and that it generates real value for real people, and that compensation is a natural consequence, not the primary goal. If this video is making sense to you, give it a like now. This helps the algorithm get this content to others who are struggling with the same issues. And I want to know, have you noticed these limiting beliefs about money operating in your life? Leave the word renewal in the comments if you are committed to transforming your financial mindset. I want to see how many of you are ready for this process. Now let's get to the practical application. How do you make this renewal of the mind happen concretely? First step, belief audit. Grab pen and paper now. Write down all the phrases you heard about money during childhood. Money doesn't buy happiness. The rich cannot enter heaven. Work dignifies man. He who does not work, neither shall he eat. Some of these phrases have truth, but all have context, and context matters. Work dignifies, yes, but work without purpose enslaves. He who does not work, neither shall he eat, but work is not desperate effort, it's directed contribution. Second step, theological substitution. For each limiting belief, find a biblical truth that contradicts it. Money is dirty becomes resources are neutral tools that God uses to expand his kingdom. I will never prosper becomes if God gave me a calling, he has already released the necessary provision to fulfill it. This is not an empty affirmation. It's faith based on God's character. Third step, intentional neuroplasticity. Every day for 90 days, you will dedicate 10 minutes to directed visualization. This is not vague meditation, it's specific mental rehearsal. You close your eyes and see yourself operating in your calling, generating value, receiving fair compensation, managing resources wisely, investing in purpose. You feel the peace of it. You imagine the decisions you make in this state. This is not fantasy, it's training. Olympic athletes do this before competitions. Surgeons do this before complex operations. Why wouldn't you do it before transforming your financial life? The Institute for Applied Economic Research, IPEA, published data showing that Brazilians who have clarity of vocational purpose earn an average of 52% more throughout their lives than those who work only out of necessity. 52%. This is not privilege, it's alignment. When you know why you're doing what you do it better. When you do it better, you create more value. When you create more value, you are compensated more. It's spiritual and economic logic at the same time. But here's the real test of your transformation: generosity. People with a scarcity mindset cannot give. They hold on in fear. People with an abundance mindset give strategically, knowing that provision is cyclical. Paul writes in 2 Corinthians chapter 9 that God loves a cheerful giver, and that he is able to make all grace abound to you, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. Notice the sequence. Sufficiency first, then abundance directed towards purpose. It's not accumulation, it's flow. A study from Stanford University followed consistent donors for 15 years and found something fascinating. People who donate at least 10% of their income, regardless of the absolute amount, have 40% lower cortisol levels and 60% higher life satisfaction levels than people who do not donate. Generosity is not just spiritual obedience, it's mental hygiene. It breaks the illusion of control. It reminds you that you are not the source, you are the channel. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Someone who is struggling with money, who has talent but no results, who knows they were called for more but is stuck in old mindsets. Send it to that person now. You could be the instrument God uses to break a generational prison in their life. Do you want to know the biggest indicator that your mind is truly being renewed? It's not how much money you have in your account, it's how you feel when you don't have it. If you can maintain peace, clarity, and generosity, even in temporary scarcity, you've won. Because external provision comes and goes, markets fluctuate, jobs change, but identity anchored in God is unshakable. And from that identity, provision flows naturally. Joseph didn't become a millionaire overnight. He had 13 years of brutal preparation. But those 13 years were not a waste of time, they were formation. He learned administration in Potiphar's house. He learned resilience in prison. He learned interpretation through suffering. And when the opportunity came, he was ready. Not just financially, emotionally, spiritually. Prosperity didn't destroy Joseph because he was forged before receiving it. Here's the question you need to answer honestly. Are you being forged or are you being destroyed by the waiting? Because the difference isn't in the circumstances. It's in the narrative you choose about the circumstances. Joseph could have said, God has abandoned me. He chose to say, God is with me even here. That choice changed everything. The Greek word for temptation and test is the same, peirasmos. It depends on your response. If you resist with faith, it's a test that strengthens you. If you yield with bitterness, It's a temptation that destroys you. Your current financial situation is pyrasmos. You decide if it's formation or destruction. Turn on the notification bell now, because in the next video I'll show you exactly how to identify your specific financial calling, that area where you were designed to generate maximum value with aligned effort. It's not a vague spiritual gift. It's a practical vocation that generates real provision. And if you miss this video, you'll keep working hard in the wrong place. Activate it now. Let me give you one last insight that can change your perspective today. The Bible never promises wealth for everyone, but it promises sufficiency for the called. If God called you to something, He has already released the necessary resources. The problem is never a lack of divine provision. It's a lack of human alignment. You are trying to finance a life God never sent you to live. You are seeking resources for projects that were not born of heaven. And then you get frustrated because provision doesn't come. But provision doesn't come for fleshly dreams. It comes for spiritual callings. When you align your work with your calling, provision stops being a battle and becomes a consequence. It's not less effort. It's effort in the right direction. And directed effort always yields exponential returns. Disoriented effort always yields fruitless exhaustion. Metanoia, renewal of the mind, neural transformation, vocational realignment. All of these are the same thing said in different ways. It's you stopping fighting against God and starting flowing with Him. It's you letting go of the scarcity narrative you inherited and embracing the sufficiency narrative He always had for you. And when that happens, not only does your money change, your peace changes, your purpose changes, your identity changes. And transformed identity is the only wealth that no one can steal from you.
Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life, a guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming, with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10,000 readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who were tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.